G'day, guys. It's Sean Keenan here, publisher, and we are super excited for our 10th episode of Comics to Movies and More. We've got Stephen, our co-host, on as usual, and we've got a very excited to bring on Shane, who has got his own site which is promoting indie creators or comic creators in general, with a special highlight on Australian creators. So it's going to be a really big show. I'm really excited. Shane's been with us listening to the show from the beginning, so super excited to have him on and super excited to have all you guys here as well. So without further ado, let's bring on Stephen and Shane. Hey guys, how is everyone this evening?
Good, thanks.
All good. Well, welcome, Shane. Good to see. I'm really glad to bring you on board this week. I was really happy to you agreed.
All good, all good. And hello to everyone.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the chat. Max is there. Hey, Max. And
hey, Max.
Nerd is on as well. So hey, guys.
Cool. Yes, it's been a crazy week this week. I'm still in I'm outside the lockdown area, but Victoria is going crazy with all this COVID-19 stuff and everything. So it's been a little bit crazy, but we nicked out just about 20 minutes away from our town today, and it was the first time I've gone further than about 5 minutes from my door in about 4 months. So I was bloody excited to go anyway. So how are you guys going? Are you able to at least go out and venture outside your suburb?
New South Wales isn't too bad. You can still do most of the stuff. I think we allow up to gatherings of 100 people, so ruin it for New South Wales, Victoria. Don't you dare.
I've heard it all, Victoria, of our number plates of the state to be. So like you've had all the memes of the place not to be, and yeah. So.
Whereabouts are you, Shane? Are you New South Wales, Victoria?
No, Brisbane.
Oh, Queensland.
Sunny Brisbane.
Queensland.
So nothing up there.
Things are pretty relaxed. I don't know the exact rules, but I know it's pretty relaxed at the moment. I went up to the shops, and they've actually allowed you to sit in some of the seats now. So,
wow.
Oh, okay.
Because they had them all barriered off just a week ago.
We've got little X's on the floor telling us where we're even allowed to stand.
Yeah, we've got them as well.
So.
I look, I'm really, really hoping in the next 6 months things really ease up. Fingers crossed for the vaccine, and which country gets it first. Congrats on whoever wins that race. But it's a great race to win that one.
Yeah. Bring back conventions, man. Like my memories all this week of last year being in San Diego Comic-Con. I'm dying at the moment. Like I don't even want to go on Facebook. I keep getting all these photos of an awesome time that I had last year, and stuck indoors at the moment. It's funny because at first I was like, not as much traveling this year. Kind of maybe I was like, that'd be good, but I gotta say, after about 4 months now, I'm really kind of missing that convention scene and everyone that I travel around with, and they're almost my second family. Like I do so many shows and everything like that I really miss just catching up with the guys that I do all the shows with.
How have you done any of the online cons? I know there's been quite a few of them. I know San Diego is doing a lot of panels online and stuff. Have you listened to or checked out any of those?
I've done. There was Canberra Geek Markets. So that was a really cool one. It gave us 15 minutes to kind of jump on, spruik our wares, and I made a couple of sales off that. So I found that to be really good, but I haven't done. There has been a couple of big American ones, but just the time difference has been really hard to kind of do. They've been at like either 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If it was either way, if it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night or 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, then I'd be kind of happy to do it. But that 2 or 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, especially with my little girl, everyone's seen her come in last episode in the morning type of thing. So it just kind of hasn't fallen that way to kind of do anything. So I've just done probably the email lists. We've done more Kickstarters, and I've probably done a lot more creating in this time than I have previously, because it has, I'm so used to working all week, doing a convention, reprinting our limited edition prints, then doing the convention next week, and all that type of stuff. So it's been a while since I've been able to have weekends to myself to actually concentrate on the creative process, to do a little bit of writing. I've come up with another series that I kind of like, a teenage series. All my stuff's usually in adult content, so I've been focusing more on that. But I wouldn't mind giving some of the more online cons a go, especially if this is going to be around for another 6 to 12 months type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, look, for me, it's like I'm working from home, and I think there's quite a lot of other people are. So I've actually been doing a lot of writing. I've actually finished up probably about 6 months ahead of schedule. Both Terra Olympus Volume 3, Wordsmith 3 is finished. I got a gig from somebody else. I think that was about 40 pages. I finished that. Look, I can't share the details of the last one because it's his, and that's for him to share it. There's one more thing I know. I'm working with Sean as well. That's going to be another 30, 40 pages to write up. That one's still in the development stage. So even before you start scripting, as most of you guys know, you have to go through character development, themes, the hints you drop in volume 1, where the story ends. You got all that stuff to set up. So even that first 40-page script is probably another, 5 hours of thinking just to get that initial what's going to happen, because it's the world building, the character building part of it out of the way. So in terms of scripts, I'm way ahead of time. Other stuff I've been practicing as well. Like I'm doing a lot of the layouts, lots of bits and pieces. So it's been really exciting for me. I've liked the extra, because I used to spend 2 hours on the bus, or 1 hour to work, 1 hour to back. And without that, you get 2 hours of your day back. So you think about it over a week, that's 10 hours. You get one whole workday back, which is fantastic.
How about you, Shane? What do you do? Do you have a full-time job? Do you do these the comic gig full time? What's the? Yeah, I know that's a silly question, isn't it?
No, I'm actually a web developer, so yeah, I'm working from home doing that.
Oh, awesome! And do you, I know that, and we'll speak more about your site, but are you a creator yourself as well? Are you, do you dabble in creating comics, or is it something that you want to get into, or anything like that?
No, not really. I try to draw, and I'll emphasize the try. But definitely not at a level where I could actually do anything like that. But I mostly work with work, and in my spare time I do the site. So that's pretty much my whole week.
Awesome. Well, I do want to give a shout out to Darren. Nice to see you here, Darren. He's another one that I usually catch up with at the conventions and everything. So I guess this is a good way to kind of catch up with people. But
so Darren, you're Victorian. Don't mess it up for New South Wales or Queensland or the rest of Australia.
I know, mate. Some of the stuff that's coming up as well, but it's just ridiculous. Like the other day, there was 151 fines, and half of those fines were people just trying to get out of the Melbourne metro area into regional Victoria because there's no COVID cases here, and it's like what are you not getting? Like, you need to stay at home. You need to kind of do the right thing. But we've been in lockdown now for 2 weeks or almost 2.5 weeks, and it's only now that they've come out and said, "Oh, we've just realised that for the last 2 weeks, 98% of the people that were getting tested were actually going about their day jobs, their shopping and everything like that until they got their test results back. And then they went, oh shit, I'm positive. I've just been to Woolworths and Coles and got my local coffee and caught up with my girlfriend and like, seriously, guys, like, come on. Like, it's not rocket science to know that if you're getting tested for COVID,
You stay home.
maybe I should stay at home until I find out whether I'm positive. Jeez, come on. Come on, Australia. Come on, Victoria. What are you doing?
Don't mess it up for us. Okay. Let's talk. I know we've rambled for 11 minutes already. Look, thank you, everybody. Oh no, it's not you. It's all of us. So let's talk Deadpool. And Shane, you're the one who brought this movie up. Yep. Why do you like Deadpool?
It just makes me laugh. I love a good laugh, and I laugh all the way through this movie. And with two, like the parachute scene, I almost have tears from laughter. That scene just cracks me up.
I love the fact that with Deadpool, like I had to watch it twice at the movies because I didn't realize that how many jokes I'd actually missed. I was laughing so hard at the first joke that not only did I just miss the second joke, but there was a third or fourth joke straight afterwards. Like Ryan Reynolds was so quick with those jokes, and my favorite scene is the tiny hand and everything. I was like, that's hilarious. But I was so impressed with these movies because it really showed that you could do a great R-rated comedic superhero movie, and kind of broke that kind of thing that it has to be family orientated. It has to be like like a lot of people that aren't into comics or haven't read a lot of comics, they think everything is either superheroes or and family orientated. And like today, I didn't even realize that the Old Guard that's on Netflix is actually based off a graphic novel. But there are so many different types of stories. There are so many types of genres that it's great to have something like this not only be successful, but kind of pave the way for maybe more of these type of films to be made. What did you think, Stephen?
Look, I agree. Look, it's an own class of films, which I like. And one thing I did enjoy about it is, despite everything, like Deadpool 2 still followed the proper 3-act structure in terms of story writing. You still had the catalyst events, of who was it? Cable coming from the future. You still had all those elements that makes a really good script. And you've got the main character who's so likable, who's so much fun. And you've got that final climax scene where, everybody's fighting everybody. And that little twist, sorry if anybody hasn't seen it, the little bit of time travel twist involved. I loved it. I think in terms of, I much preferred number one, not because of the storytelling so much, but it's because it was the first one. And number two, I had expectations that, look, it was pretty unreasonable that it could fill, because number one was just so out of the box that number two had no chance to catch up to it.
Yeah, I think I liked number two for different reasons. I thought that they focused a little bit more on the action, and I feel kind of good that they're not trying to do the same thing. So there's not going to be a 3 or a 4, and then they'll move him off onto either a cameo type type character, or into X-Force or something like that, where there's other character stories and arcs and everything like that. But admittingly, I could watch these two movies almost every day.
Oh, just talking about say X-Force, and this is back to that the parachute scene. I loved it. Shatterstar gets killed off so quickly. Basically, it kills off the entire X-Force cast. Only Domino survives. Every other X-Force member doesn't make it. And I loved it. But the other thing would be is, and I think that's also kind of why I like the Marvel movies a lot, is mainly because every movie is actually its own genre. Like Ant-Man was the classic heist movie. And they're actually doing and for the first time, there's a New Mutants movie coming out, and that's horror. And the next Doctor Strange movie is a straight up horror movie that happens to have Doctor Strange in it. So they're actually taking movie genres and actually just going, you know what, we'll take this genre and we'll shove some superheroes into it. And I think that's fantastic. So that's why have you seen the New Mutants trailer, either of you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I saw the first one. I haven't seen the latest one, which is is it the first 5 minutes of the movie or something that they just released?
I haven't seen that one yet. Maybe I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I just saw it. I'll have to go find it. I'm not gonna play it on this channel because last week we had Dan's video pulled because I played the stars thing at the start of the video, so I won't play it online. But
so for people who don't know, if you ever play a video or whatever, you have a chance of getting your stream flagged, which means the Google bots will basically decide to pull your stream down because of copyright reasons. And because it's all it's all automated, you don't get a chance for a review. It's not somebody there who's looking for context or anything like that. It's just you play, you get flagged.
Naughty Sean. So what else did you like about Deadpool, Shane? Was it were you a fan of him prior to the movies as well, or was it just the movie that actually got you into the character?
No, when I was collecting comics back in the 90s, he had his own comic, and I used to read that and became a huge fan because that's when he moved away from X-Force, that's when he started breaking the fourth wall and being a lot funnier and all that sort of stuff. And it was a comic about him saving the world by killing some creature that took away free will. So it was very interesting, but it was also very funny.
I think that's what they do well with him, is they actually give him like quite good storylines and then add the humor into it. It's not just, it's funny, and then you're like, oh, this really kind of makes no sense. And as you said, Stephen, like the actual movie still followed that 3-part act in regards to, introducing the character, making sure that there's that catalyst moment and so on and so forth. So I think that's what's really good about it as well, because it's quite easy to make a cheesy, funny movie and then try and replicate that or just keep doing the same thing. But to add that action element and a good storyline in is what I feel actually makes it great.
Yes.
Yep.
Agree.
But talking about, say, Deadpool the character, and this is we're going to dig a little bit into the comics part of it. As most of you know, Rob Liefeld, and I think there's a guy, Fabian, and I can't remember his surname for the life of me. If somebody in the chat knows it, please post it up. But the two of them are co-created with Deadpool. It was meant to be a whole joke on Deathstroke, a DC character whose name was Slade Wilson, and then this one's called Wade Wilson. Deathstroke became Deathpool. So it was basically a rip on a DC character. Like, it's so blatant, everybody knows about it. But initially, his character was totally different. He was the merc with the mouth and whatever. But he never really gained huge prominence. I think, and Mark actually pointed out in the chat, Joe Kelly, was the writer who actually basically created Deadpool the way he is now. So if you want to give credit to the character Deadpool as they are, oh man, thanks, Mark. So I love the chat. The chat has all the answers.
Now pronounce that last name, Fabian.
I don't dare.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. So Fabian it is.
Yeah. But Joe Kelly, if you want to give credit to how the character developed, who he is now, it's all Joe Kelly. Credit for the look, Rob Liefeld. But he admits he stole that from DC anyway. You know, the double katanas are actually a Deathstroke thing, you know, all the rest of it. But Joe Kelly, he's the one who basically took the character and really, really morphed it into who he is. The fun, the breaking the fourth wall. Talking about Deadpool stories, there's actually my favorite Deadpool story still is a little bit of a send-up of a Superman story. There was the whole idea being there was a jumper, you know, somebody who lost their will to live. They're on the ledge and he's about to jump. And then the Superman version of it is basically Superman stays with this person the whole time. And the end, Superman actually says, look, if you jump and if you want, I will not catch you. Because the guy was just saying, you're going to pick me, you know, the girl was saying, you can just pick me off the ledge and bring me straight down. But Superman was going, nope, I won't do that. I would just wait and be here for you. And if you jump, I will not stop you. But if you want to come down, I will help you. And, you know, it's that whole trust building thing. So, but the Deadpool version of that story, because that was actually a very, very prominent Superman story. The Deadpool version of the story, which I really liked, is Deadpool basically takes this girl on an adventure. She goes, look, just come down. He takes him to the boss she hates, you know, all the situations they don't like. And basically, but in the end of it, Deadpool actually brings her to a psychiatrist. And she was going, you promised me you weren't going to do this. And he actually physically says, as a character, in character saying, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm not the right guy for you. You do this, you know, if all you do is listen to me, it will be worse. These are the people that can help you. And then he walks away, which in terms of Deadpool, I thought, you know, it's a great story. So I'm going to ask.
Kill a boss?
Oh, I can't remember now, actually.
But come on, that's going to be Deadpool. Tell me all about the situations and the people you hate. Here we go.
Yeah. If the chat can trace which comic that was, I can't remember the number. Really much appreciate where Deadpool saves, suicidal girl and brings her to the hospital. If the chat can pick that issue up for me, I would be very, very impressed. But I love that type of Deadpool stories, babe, because in the end of it, Deadpool has a heart. And I think that's where a lot of the writers, especially the movies, also show that as well, that he has a heart. And Mark's on fire, Deadpool 20. There you go. Is there anything you don't know, Mark?
I'm going to say, Mark, your profile picture is pretty nice as well. I like that. And he's all smicked up in his suits and looking really good there, Mark. I'm going to say.
But I love those Deadpool issues where he's got a bit more of a heart, and I think that's the one thing that is missed. I know he's a he's a homicidal killer and all the rest of it. But you know what? He ain't so bad. And that's what I really liked about it. What's your thought on that character, Shane?
Like he says in the movie itself, he's only kills the bad guys, people worse than him. So,
and the fact that he wants to save the boy who's going to destroy the whole future, Deadpool's the only one who wanted to save him. Everybody's let's kill that guy. Yeah,
exactly.
Spot on.
So I liked it. That it's he was probably the only character who wanted to save him. Everybody else was like, you know what?
Yeah, pretty much. I just watched it today, so yes.
I think that's the funnest part about these live streams and everything is when the guest picks what they want to watch. Well, it gives me an excuse to watch it again during the week. But my intro to Deadpool was Wolverine '88, and this has still got to be one of my favorite covers out of my collection. But yeah, it's just he tries to kill Wolverine, I guess as the cover states, but never ever gets to this scene. I always bloody hate those covers that they go, oh, look at this, and then I'm like, that's not even in the comic. How can you put that on the cover? It's not even in the comic. Like, but yeah, that was my introduction to Deadpool. That's still one of my favorite ones. I've got it, contacted down the spine and everything from when I was a kid. So,
talking about Wolverine and Deadpool, there's actually I don't know if it is that issue, but there was one issue where Wolverine actually hires Deadpool to kill him, and it was basically a setup because he was trying to lure somebody else, I think Daken, Wolverine's son, to out of the shadows. So he hires Deadpool to kill him, and it's hilarious. Because Deadpool knows he can survive nearly everything. I think so. He tries steamroller and all this other weird and wonderful thing, and it was fun. Oh, Wolverine! Oh man, does Mark not know everything? Wolverine Origins. There you go. And it's quick shout
how about
out
we just get you on, Mark, and you can just answer all the questions, right?
So, by the way, we might as well do this. A quick shout out to Mark. Mark's a fantastic creator. He's working on the last thing I remember talking to him was something called This Land. So, Mark, if you want to, I don't know if you can post links in the live chat because you're not a moderator, but if you want to shoot me a couple of links through Facebook Messenger to your work and stuff like that, I'm happy to post it up so people can see. Mark's work is really good. I've seen some of it come through. He uses PR Daedalus for some of the artwork, so I'm biased that way. But definitely chuck me a couple of links. I'll post a live chat, and anybody who's on the chat, please do check out some of Mark's stuff. It's definitely worth taking a look at. So I'm happy to plug you, Mark. Just send me the links, and I'll put it in the live chat. Okay, we're probably anything else, Deadpool, Shane, or?
No, I just love it. That's why I picked it. It just makes me laugh. It's got that, like you guys were saying, it's got that story still without just being gag after gag. Yeah, it just makes me laugh. It's a good story, and I love Deadpool. Yeah, like ever since that comic, I didn't really warm to him in X-Force, but once he had his own comic and he was like that creator, I can't remember his name, sorry, who really made him who he is now. Yeah, I love that comic.
Okay, so we're at the half-hour mark, and so we're trying our best to try to keep things in time now. We've been horrible at it, so we are doing our best to keep things in time. So we want to make sure you have enough time to talk about what your project is, and I won't overtalk you. So tell us all about this project.
Okay. Oh, nice. Pretty much, it started as I couldn't find anywhere that gave all the Australian sites for all the Australian comic shops. That's how it started. It was just a directory for comic shops. And then it sort of morphed from there where I started doing events because I thought, well, we've got to get everyone to know where events are because they're spread all over different places. Facebook events, you can sort of find them, but you sort of can't unless you look really hard, which I found out the hard way how hard some things are to find when I was actually doing the events side of things in the site, which thanks to COVID, there's almost nothing in there now. Yeah, so and then I went, well, I'll take this a step further and go with the Australian talent or Australian creators. I still have some more things to do later. That's all I've gotten to so far is getting Australian creators to not log in, but to register and put their details in there. And yeah, if you just go to there. It's just a random list because I didn't want anyone to be at the top all the time just because of alphabetical order or whatever. And that they're the people who've registered so far. I've put in their details, and they get their own login, so they can change the details whenever they want. I'm just saying that so if any creators are interested, please hop on the site. There's a page to register, and the more the merrier. Strength in numbers, I guess you could say.
So this handsome guy.
There he goes.
There he is. Look at this handsome guy there.
So
that's awesome. I have to admit, especially with shows that have been around for a while, like Oz Comic Con, Supernova, and that, you're 100% spot on. It's hard to find event dates and stuff unless you go to their exact website, because if you try and search that in Facebook, it comes up with 2016, 2019, 2012. It actually doesn't really kind of sort it by the next event is Melbourne Supernova in March type of thing. So you got to be really careful on trying to find that. And if you're trying to look for other shows that you haven't already done, well, unless you know what they're called, how are you supposed to find them? So to be able to come to a place like this and actually go, I've never heard of that one before, I might give that one a go, is really, really good. And I've been doing this for about 10 years, and everyone talks about creating a site like this, but no one has ever done it. So it's really, I find as a creator and as a comic lover and a pop culture fan, that someone's actually taken their own time, their own money, and created such a robust Australian site type of thing. So thank you.
Oh, look, and big thank you from me too. There is one quick question I want to reach to you. New Zealand. I think the logical step would be in terms of, say, talent, because for example, there are some talent who basically travel back and forth between New Zealand. Will this extend to New Zealand creators as well? Or
I have actually thought about that because New Zealand and Australia are very closely linked. So I was thinking that would be the next logical step. But pretty much I was just trying to get Australia right first. So I have something to show to the New Zealanders, something that what's going on, what it's capable of, and the promotions that I try to do for everyone. My network isn't very vast at the moment, but I still try my best to get it out there that there's an event on, or that there's a certain comic in a crowdfunding effort. That's the other thing I've added, is the crowdfunding stuff. I don't know if it's not up to date at the moment because I've been unwell, but I'll be trying to catch up this week, actually. That's what this week's project is.
Okay. Well, and look, again, a very big thank you from all Australian creators for even putting all this together. In terms of, say, talking to people, and this is actually how we met, just for people who don't know, this is how I got hold of Shane, is basically him asking me a bunch of questions and bouncing stuff back and forth. How has it been with everybody? You must know everybody so well now because, look, I've had so many chats with you privately. Have you grown your network? Have you met all these really, really cool and diverse people?
Yeah, to a degree. Some people just register and leave it at that. Other people I do chat to a lot. I won't try to list them all. But some of them I keep in contact with, and I try to, because the more I get to know them, the more they tell me about other creators, and the more I can sort of approach them or stalk them, whatever you want to call it, face stalk, and try to get them on board.
Okay. And in terms
And
of
we didn't mention that the site is actually called comics comx.net.au. So if
I
people
will be sharing
want
that
to
very,
check
very shortly.
it out, we'll put it in the comments, as well as it's in the description of our video link, so you can have a look and check it out there as well. I do know Shane's been super great as well in regards to having his a Facebook group that you can share, as well as a page for your own comics and those type of things as well, which is really good. So, and he's been really good at promoting people's work. So I have noticed that, when both Stephen and I have had crowdfunding going on, that you've shared it and retweeted it and all that type of stuff, and that type of support is really grateful. When we're indie artists and trying to kind of get the word out, having someone do that without being asked, without really asking for anything in return, is really priceless.
So I've just shared the Facebook group link. If anybody who's interested, click join, and I'm sure Shane will approve you. I've also shared the Facebook page. Bump it up, give it a good like, help that one out. And I've also shared the website. So guys, check out all three and take a look. Where do you see this going? Like, what's your plan, say, for the next 6 to 12 months on this?
Well, one of the plans, which I think might be a bit too ambitious, is to list every Australian comic that I can. I was going to try to do a backlog as well, like a backdating, so forth. But I'm thinking that I might have to just do what's coming out now, or else it'll just overtake my life. And then we'll have no money from the web development to actually pay for it. And so, yeah, that's probably one of the big plans. Another thing I wanted to try to do is to get to know creators and so forth, so I can sort of put up a page that lets people know. I know it's very hard to get an exact date from Australian comics, so I was going to work with the month that they're coming out, so that people will actually, if they can go to the site, they can see all the Australian comics that are coming out that month. That's one of my ultimate goals, is to be able to really promote the book by the fact that it's on the site and people can come and see what's coming up next month.
And the other thing I've also known you do is you put your money where your mouth is as well. You're a big supporter of a lot of Australian projects. I'll put the one caveat: leave Sean and my projects out of it, because you love that the most. And I don't want to embarrass you on a live stream, but besides Sean and my projects, which are the best of everybody.
Of course.
But besides those two, what else have you read that has excited you, has been really interesting?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because I have a backlog of almost an entire short box of Australian comics that I've gotten over the last since I started this back in December. And thanks to the web development side of things, I haven't had time to actually read any of them. But I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to restructure everything, that I've got more time, because I really want to go through them. Because that was one of the other things I forgot to mention, was I want to do reviews. I tried to get people to get on board so we get some momentum going, but I didn't have much luck with that. So I don't know how to approach people, I guess, to write reviews just for the sake of writing reviews.
Look, I'll do the shout out for you. Let's do the shout out here for you. And I'm looking at you, Max, more than anybody else. Because,
not to point the finger at anyone, but Max, we're talking to you.
If anybody, Max, would be interested to write reviews, you've got a platform. And look, have you actually put the word out? Because what I find is there's a lot of writers out there, And it's not a money thing, so don't stress too much. Most writers don't stress too much about that. A lot of people, especially writing reviews, it actually helps a lot with your writing. Like I used to write reviews when I first started. And it's a really good thing to say, hey, look, I write for this site. It's a nice thing to have, to say, I write for this site. I know Anthony from Soda and Telepaths. That's how he got started as well. He was a review site as well, and he writes really good reviews. And you find the reviews, if the first thing to write something good is to be able to critique something. If you understand how a story works and bits and pieces, and you know what to look for, it actually really improves your writing. So I will definitely do the shout out, because if we do a proper shout out for you, I think you will have too many people want to write a review than you will have to do. I'm deadly serious. Most sites say we need reviewers. They get a list of, oh man, I can't accommodate everybody. That's what usually happens. So
okay, because I did it with my Facebook group, and I got a few people, and then they changed their mind because they got busy on the. Yeah, they were just.
Okay. Oh look,
I think sometimes with the Australian industries that people are a little bit scared to be honest, and then some people don't take feedback well, and you need to understand that not everyone's going to like your work. That doesn't mean it's good, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means not everyone's going to like your work. But at the same time, if you do get a bad review, then that should be looked upon to be able to improve yourself. So I do feel that sometimes there is that people are kind of scared to put their name to that type of thing. So even if you're offered people to do it under a pseudonym, or you just put it up as the site or something like that, because I think especially in Australia, I've had a few reviews done internationally by different people, but it has been quite hard to get someone to kind of do it here in Australia to kind of do a proper review. And the ones that have done it, those kind of sites are now no longer around, type of thing. So. But what kind of made you want to kind of give up so much of your time and create something like this? What do you kind of get out of it, type of thing, doing this stuff?
I love comics. That's probably sums it up the best. And in the last 2 years, I've gotten into. It's only been the last 2 years that I've really gotten into Australian comics. And I saw a hole, and I decided I was the person to fill it. And so I saw this, like, the ability to find people who, like, comic creators was not easy. And once I realized it wasn't easy, I knew that this was needed.
Yeah.
So that creators could be easily found, their work can be easily found. Just trying to make a central hub for everything to do with comics in Australia is what it turned into. And I just get joy out of knowing that I'm helping everyone. That's probably what sums it up the best. Is like, a few people have asked me, how am I going to monetize it? And I said, well, that's not the point. Although I'm currently making 1 cent a day out of the ads.
It's better than nothing.
Click on those ads, people. Come on. It'll take you a couple of seconds. Click on those ads.
This is,
you can't say that. You can't say that.
YouTube is owned by Google, who owns AdSense. That's against T's and C's. We do not advocate anybody clicking on the ads, except if
I'm
you
not going to get this video pulled again, aren't I?
No, we don't want to get this video pulled. So unless the ad is specific to something that does interest you, please do not just click on it to support Shane. We do not advocate that.
That's exactly what I meant. That's sorry if it was taken out of context. That is exactly what I meant. I do like a lot of different ads and I do click on those ads because I like them. So yes, yeah, I'm going to shut up now. So
Yeah. Don't do that because then I'll get in trouble as well. So
no, it's great because that is the first question that comes to everyone's mind type of thing. Oh, how are you going to monetize that? How are you going to make money off that? And that's something this site could do, down the track and everything. But I love the way you've approached this in regards to going, I tell you what, at the moment we actually need this service. It's not about the money. It's a service that we actually need. It's something that I'm able to do and I'm able to feel, as well as I've got a passion for it, and I can definitely hear that from you. But also that the understanding and realization that you can't just create something like this and then make money off it. There's been a few other platforms that have been created, and I've kind of stayed away from a lot of the digital sales platforms because I'm like, well, if I've got my own website, why would I point anyone else to any other website if I'm kind of, I'm selling it myself type of thing. I'm just, giving, money to someone else to kind of sell what I'm doing. So it's kind of great to see that you're coming from a point of view to really help creators and fill that hole that I think we have definitely needed for a while. And I've been in the industry for over 10 years now, and I look through that list, and there are a lot of names that I didn't know. And that's what I was really surprised, and I really actually loved about the site. I was like, oh, I haven't heard of them before. What do they do? And I actually took some time to flick through and go, oh, I wonder if I, maybe reach out and work with that person or see what they're up to type of thing, which is something, you get so busy at conventions and you kind of got your own group or your own clique or whatever, that you don't kind of branch out and go, oh, well, or someone's creating something, they bring something different to the show and you're like, I didn't realize that they could do that type of thing. So that's what I've really enjoyed and loved about your site type of thing. So
yeah, well, that was the other goal, not just to get fans and so forth to find the creators, but also so the creators could find each other. So I'm glad that it's working that way.
Well, because with Facebook groups and those type of things, I think I'm in about 350 groups. So posts get lost very easily, type of thing. So to actually have a site and go, look, I am looking for a female creator that I want to work with, type of thing. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. Well, now I actually do. Now I have a place to go and say, I really want to be involved with a female Australian creator who is out there that I can find. So I'm guessing, other than probably Angie Spice off the top of my head and Queenie Chan, I'd have to then go to Nicola Scott, who then everyone knows. I wouldn't probably know too many other female artists. So, and if I probably Googled that, none of those names would kind of trigger anything either. So to be able to go to a site, see a little bit about their profile, and then even have links back to their work, again, I commend you for creating something like this.
And I'll say what Sean says is actually really important. And mainly because there are a lot of government grants within Australia, and creators who are listening to this podcast, it's pretty easy to find, and I really advocate getting more grants for creating graphic novels or comics. I just think people aren't putting the pitch in to do it. It's not easy to get, but look, definitely do make the effort to do it. But a lot of the grants are actually very specific. For example, and as I think that's what Sean's alluding to, there are grants which you need to have a female creative on your team to get a particular grant, or that particular person needs to live in Victoria, New South Wales. For example, if you were making a movie and you wanted money from Screen New South Wales, guess where most of your cast have to live? In New South Wales.
Yep.
and you need to prove with addresses and things like that. So having that type of, and it also gives you a goal, because one thing that's really fun, and we've done it for certain applications, is assembling the team to build it. You're going, okay, the grant says I need 2 Victorians, a Queenslander, and 1 needs to be female. How the hell am I going to build this team? And look, that's where a site like that is fantastic, because you can start going, guys, I've got this. We are going to put forward to this grant. Do you want to have a stab at it? You want to have a chance at it? If it works out, we get a project we can work on. If it doesn't, we shake hands. We wait for the next project to come along. So having something like that is actually really important, and it's great. Like it was an absolute pain, I'll grant you, to try to assemble teams for different grants. Some of it has been very, very painful. And what's also been painful is sometimes if you get somebody and where their work just, because it's not centralized. So somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to be part of your team. And then you go, great, we've got this one person, and their work just doesn't match what you want. It's very difficult to say to somebody, hey, look, sorry, buddy, doesn't quite fit the vision. And it's disheartening for everybody, because guess what? You've almost promised this person to be part of the team. And it's very disheartening. And look, it's like firing somebody. It's the most horrible job in the world to say to somebody, I'm sorry, as opposed to having it listed, you can then check their work out first rather than do an open call, because an open call, people reach you. But it's better to look at their work and then do a directed ask to say, hey, look, I think you fit. Would you be interested? Because when we did an open call a long time ago, and man, I felt like crap, because you have to say to so many people, look, I'm sorry. And I don't want to do that again. That's why I haven't done any more open calls. I try to find the person and then ask them, because open calls, you make, it's terrible. I feel terrible, and you make the other guy feel terrible. So having a site like that is brilliant, because there isn't that need for that open call anymore.
Cool. It's coming in other things as well. Awesome.
Yeah.
Things I didn't think of.
Are we pumping up your tires enough, mate? We do have a very cool question here from Max. He says, if someone was interested in doing a review, would you be providing the comics to them to be reviewed?
Some of them are provided to me, and with those I can provide them. Others, I'm still trying to find out ways to do this. I've contacted some publishers and so forth to check if they're happy for me to take like a PDF for them to then read and review. I've even set up a site which protects the PDF, so you can't actually download them, you can just read them. So that's a little reassurance for the publisher that it's not going to suddenly go out there. Not that I don't trust the reviewers, it's just it gives them that extra bit of confidence that it's not going to go anywhere. So yeah.
I feel that if you're going to ask for a review, that you should provide the book. Like that's just my personal opinion. But if you're asking for a site to do a review, you don't turn around and go, oh, well, can you also purchase it from a website? Like, you're asking them to do work that you're not paying for. So I think part of that parcel is that you provide that book, whether it be physical or digital, at your own cost, type of thing. So I would put that out to any creator, that if you're going to ask for a review, especially from Shane, that you give him your book to read. So am I able to say that, or am I going to get into trouble for that too?
No, that's fine.
That's fine. Oh, at least a PDF copy, a locked digital copy or DRM copy. And if you're a little bit more paranoid, look, you need a way to review it. There's actually a really interesting question after Max's one from Nerds, if you can pop that question up. And I want to field this one first, and then I'll pass it to the other two. the most useless reviews, right or wrong, whether they like it or hate it, is I like this is good, or this is crap, this is bad. Those are the worst reviews you can get because it doesn't give you anything. The reviews I like, and look, I'll be honest with you, I've received some pretty bad reviews, and it is what it is. But the ones I really like are the ones who goes, I don't like this because I didn't like this character's development. It was too short. I wish this was extended. Why didn't you do this? The premise was good, but whatever. Any review which is constructive, I'll take. I'll take a constructive review, even negatively, over any positive review any day of the week. Because as much as it's an ego boost, oh wow, it's fantastic, we love it, it's the best ever. I much prefer reviews where there's something I can work on, and that's the one I really enjoy. Sean, the ones that you've reviewed or reviews you've received?
Yeah, I 100% agree. If it's like, oh, it's just a shit story, that doesn't kind of give me anything to kind of work with. Anything I can actually work on, whether I agree with it or not, is always the most helpful. So there was one where I didn't probably get the best review, but they pointed out saying that the character wasn't behaving consistently, and I was like, I actually hadn't even noticed that in the writing. It was like, she was kick-ass one moment, then she was helpless the next, then she's kick-ass the next moment. Was like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. She needs to either be kick-ass, or there needs to be a reason why she kind of feels helpless, and that wasn't conveyed in the story, because there was a reason why. And because I know the story, sometimes you fall into the trap of going, okay, well, this will be explained in the next issue or the issue after, but that doesn't help the reader at that point in time. So sometimes you cop those things on the chin and go, okay, I need to be a little bit more mindful of how I'm delivering certain things at certain stages, type of thing. So, but I think any review that comes from a good place as well, where you can tell the person is, you can also, they're not trying to be too harsh on you, but they're not also pulling their punches. They're like, look, the artwork on this is a letdown but as you said, because of, they're actually justifying, giving you reasons why they felt like that, or why this is a certain way. But you got to also understand, as I said before, not everyone is going to like your work. No, it's not a universal, oh my god, everyone's going to love this. There's nothing out there that's been ever created that is everyone's loved. You look at how many Oscar awards have been won, and people are like, really, that movie was shit, man, like seriously, how did that win an Academy Award? And then there'll be other ones where you're like, how did that not win an award? That is like the best. I think the thing that I love about entertainment is that it's all about a person's point of view.
Yep.
Certain point of view. So I got my Star Wars reference in. I'm done. Good night.
So Shane, what do you think makes a good review from your, like, if somebody was auditioning to review on your site, what would you expect them to write?
Pretty much, I'm looking for writers, like someone who actually is. I prefer someone who's in the comic industry, because they understand how all these things fit together. Like, I can't critique anything. That's why I don't do reviews myself. I'd be that person who goes, yeah, this was good. No, this was bad. And that'd be the end of my review. So pretty much what you guys have said. I'm looking for people who can critique it, give constructive criticism if needed, give constructive praise as well. So yeah, I guess that's the best way to sum it up. I'm looking for writers who can be constructive in their writing and actually analyze the comic in such a way. I mean, I've got one review on there, and he gives it a good try. But yeah, so it's not really critiquing it. It was just, yeah, it's hard to explain.
Yep.
I'm just after what you guys were pretty much saying. Just people who look, analyze the comic well.
And the thing is, I don't think most creators actually will they understand that they need to improve on things. Look, we've got about a minute left, and I do. Can you check the private chat, Sean? There's a link I put there to Aroha Comics.
Yep.
If we can just put that on the screen for 1 second. This is basically Mark's website. Mark has been giving us all the answers to all. So I vaguely remember
let's
an issue.
give Mark a shout out.
I vaguely remember an issue or vaguely remember a writer, and I get the answer. So I love that. How cool is that? How awesome is that?
Damn, that's beautiful.
Let's watch it again.
Yeah.
We won't get slammed for this because there's no. I'm sure Mark won't be hunting us down. But look, Mark.
Yeah, don't get us kicked off, Mark. Please.
So Mark's done some absolute, and I'm really partial to the artwork because it's an artist I have personally used. And please do check out his site. The link's in the comments. It's the colors look great. Artwork looks fantastic, and I'm sure you. That's PR Daedalus, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So that's actually how I met Mark, mainly because through the same artist. Because I saw some of his work, I'm going, man. Whoever PR draws for, I tend to try to get a copy or read their stuff.
Here you go. I've never heard of Thought Bubble convention appearances.
Yep.
Maybe because it's in the UK, so that's probably why I haven't heard.
Mark's he's a New Zealander living in Scotland.
A New Zealander living in Scotland. What are you doing all the way over there, mate? It's bloody cold.
You're just watching that intro trailer.
I do. I love it.
Okay, so look,
if anyone's got any more questions for Shane before we head off, put your questions in the comments. I'll have a quick scroll through. If you've got any other questions, Stephen, I'll get you to ask them now, and then I'll throw up some of the comments and that as we go.
Look, I'm good. And look, thank you very much, Shane, for coming on board. I really like what you're working on. And we're trying to branch out as well. I think we had Kerem the other day talking about creating a new comic shop in Australia. And so if there's anything even comics adjacent that anybody who's interested in coming on, happy to talk to them. Like Kerem did a fantastic job about comic stores and collecting issues and stuff like that, which we'd love to hear. So that's one of the reasons we brought Shane, because he's such a big supporter of creatives in Australia and hopefully New Zealand in the future. It was great to talk to you. So look, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's been any other questions or anything at the moment. There has been a couple of comments. Scotland is lovely. It's and all that type of stuff. There has been a nice comment from Halftone Effect and Kieran that's been on our show. Thanks for all the support, Shane. The indie comics community appreciate your hard work, and we really do. And a lot of people have said great work, Shane. From George Hall, we really do, because it's usually a thankless job. This type of thing, creating these sites and that, and I was really excited when Stephen said you were going to jump on this show, because I've had a small interaction with you and your site and everything, and I was like, it's really nice to kind of highlight the people that are highlighting us, because if it wasn't for people like yourself, we wouldn't be able to keep reaching, keep expanding, and keep building our audience, and you make that so much easier for us, and that's a big thing when it comes to indie promotion. So thank you very much, mate.
My pleasure.
There is one last question, and then we'll wrap up. It looks like, and I'm sorry, Max, for calling you out, but it looks like Max is interested. Is there an email on the website that he can reach out to contact you?
I'm not sure if there's one there, but there's one that everyone can have, so I can say it here.
Make sure it's not your personal one. don't.
It's just comxau@gmail.com.
Yeah, okay. Your one on your website is different to that, so.
Oh, that's the Comicscape one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the old name. Then I found out there was a app in Tokyo, I think, in Japan, that had the same name. So I was like, oh crap, got to change my name.
Okay.
I still,
but on the website there's also a contact us page that you can fill out the information and submit on the website as well. So again, that website is COMICS2MOVIES.net.au. It is in the comments as well as our description. Please go check it out if you're a creator. Submit your details, and we really look forward to seeing how your site grows, and would love to have you back on down the track to see how everything is tracking.
Yeah, I'd love to come back.
Okay, that's it for me. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate everybody who's jumped on, and look, you guys are great, and thank you for everybody in the live chat. Really appreciate you turning up.
Yes, thanks.
Awesome. I'm just going to do one more quick shout out. I have our Indiegogo campaign for the Extreme Champion Tournament Fractured World ending tomorrow. If you can chuck the link in, we are only $60 away from hitting our target, which was just $500. As I mentioned in the last show, it was just to help with some of the printing costs. So if you don't have a copy of XCT and you want to grab yours, whether it be digital or physical, go to the Indiegogo campaign and grab yours. Just a little update on our works. We've got all of the pages colored. They're sitting with Darren, who is lettering them at the moment for me, and we hope to get to print in the next couple of weeks. Stephen is hard at work about to do all of the mail out for Terra Olympus Volume 2. So I appreciate all of that hard work when those books finally come in, and then we're working on some stuff that I hope to announce next week. So I'm hoping to have a couple of things to announce next week. So thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.